Good evening. Let's call this meeting to order. It is Thursday, November 18th, 2010. The time is 7:04. Roll call, please.
Ammons. Yeah, present. Anderson.
Here.
Beckett. Here. Bensel. Here. Bergson. Here. Betts.
Here.
Carter. Cowart. Dennitz.
Here.
Gladney.
Present.
James.
Here.
Jay.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Knott.
Here.
Kurtz.
Here.
Langenheim.
Here.
McGinty.
Here.
Michaels. Here. Mosher.
Here.
Nudo. O'Connor.
Here.
Richards.
Here.
Rosales.
Here.
Sapp. Schrader.
Here.
Wysocki.
Here.
Weibel.
Here. We have a quorum. Tonight's prayer is one of my favorite prayers by Ralph Waldo Emerson, Thanksgiving. For each new morning with its light, for rest and shelter of the night, for health and food, for love and friends, for everything thy goodness sends. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would the clerk please read the notice of the meeting?
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on November 18th, 2010, 7 p.m. in the Wild Shields Meeting Room, Brookins Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Move to approve.
Moved by Ms. Wysocki, second by Mr. Rosales. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Seek approval of the agenda and the addendum.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. James, second by Mr. Rosales. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The date and times of our next meetings next month. The County Board organizational meeting is the first Monday of the month, which is next month will be December 6th at 7 p.m. in this room. The next night, there is a committee of the whole meeting, which is scheduled at 6 p.m. This may or may not occur, but for the moment it is scheduled. Tuesday, December 14th, there's also a committee of the whole meeting at 6 p.m. in this room. And on Tuesday, December 21st, which is not the normal day for the County Board meeting, it's a Tuesday instead of a Thursday because of the upcoming holidays, is a regular County Board meeting at 7 p.m. Also scheduled is the County Board photo at 6:30 on that night. However, we might move that to the evening of the organizational meeting because we know that people will be there for that meeting and not for the regular meeting. But we have to talk to the photographer first. So you'll hear more about that later. Okay, consent agenda. Are there any items that you wish to take off the consent agenda? Mr. Beckett.
Move the consent agenda.
Moved by Beckett, second by Mosher. Roll call.
Ammons. Yes. Anderson.
Yes.
Beckett. Bensel. Yes. Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Carter. Cowart.
Yes.
Dennitz.
Yes.
Gladney.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Langenheim.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels.
Yes.
Mosher.
Yes.
Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor. Richards. Rosales.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Wysocki.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes. Motion carries. Public participation. Mr. Mark Friedman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Chairman Weibel. I came and spoke to you last month. My name is Mark Friedman. I'm the newly appointed superintendent of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Champaign County. This is a veteran service organization. This is a Veterans Assistance Commission run by the veteran service organizations of the county. On October the 5th, I filed our petition for recognition and appropriation with Chairman Weibel. At 6 weeks out, we still do not have a response, and the governor's office has called me twice asking what the status of this report is. I know it has been referred to council, so I am here both to present you, and I think all of you got the packet I passed out, which is all the statutory references. The page numbers at the bottom are from the Illinois Association of Veterans Assistance Commissions organizational handbook for forming a Veterans Assistance Commission. Additionally is the local office's constitution and bylaws. We are in the midst of augmenting and tweaking them. We are only about 7 weeks old. In our December meeting, we will be finalizing our constitution, and then in January I will come and present a finalized copy of the constitution to you. At this point, I am here basically to ask what the status of our recognition is, because in about 3 weeks I have to report to the governor's office what the status of the formation of the VAC is and what the status is in relationship to the county board, whether you are going to officially recognize us or not. I really don't want to go to the governor's office and say, on the 5th of October I filed and I have no action.
Mr. Friedman, we're not allowed to communicate with you during public participation. That's our county board rules. So we cannot respond to any questions.
Understood. With that, that would close my comments.
Thank you. Is there further public participation? We'll close that. Communications. Mr. Kurtz.
Thank you. I have two. Yesterday, I received a letter from the Champaign County Farm Bureau. On Monday, November 22nd at 5:30 p.m., the Champaign County Farm Bureau will host a reception and will award their Champaign County Farm Bureau Friend of Agriculture Award to many of our board members. I am proud and excited to be one of those recipients to receive this recognition. Over the last 2 years, I've come to respect and appreciate the hard work of our county farmers, and I will continue to support the Farm Bureau in their efforts to promote and protect our agriculture and farmland in Champaign County. Second communication is I have been in discussion with Chair Weibel concerning the help desk at the county courthouse, and after discussions with him, I set up meetings with Mr. Roger Holland, Ms. Valerie McWilliams, and Ms. Deb Busey concerning this help desk. I met with all three of them today, and we have now discussed a number of different options to help save the help desk. I will bring all that information to you shortly, but we're working on some options to help save that important facility to navigate the court system, which can be very, very confusing and complex to a layperson, including myself, when I went through it 2 years ago. So I just want to let you know that we're working on it, and hopefully we can save the help desk at the county courthouse.
Other communications? See none. We'll move on to item 10. I seek a mover for the item adoption of resolution number 7549, renumbering resolutions. Moved by Mr. Richards. Second by Ms. Anderson. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Seek approval of the minutes, a correction to the June minutes, and also the approval of the minutes of October 21st, 2010.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. James. Second by Ms. Amons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. County Facilities, Mr. Beckett.
I move adoption of Resolution 7543 approving the recommendation of the full project budget for 202 Art Bartel Construction Project, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Motion carries.
From the addenda, I move adoption of Resolution 7578 approving amendment to contract with White and Borgononi for courthouse exterior renovation and clock and bell tower restoration project, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Richards. Discussion. Mr. Beckett.
As I had indicated at the Committee of the Whole, this action actually closes this project, the execution part of the project. Note that as a result of the last change order that we had in the project for the banding on the south and west side and for the odd cuts of stone that had to be shaped and put into place, it resulted in additional architectural services in the amount of $5,166. Note that under our contract with the architect, there was budgeted $22,983.30 for reimbursables. Those have not been spent. This action actually results in a net decrease of the project budget of $17,817.30. I hope that the next county board will take action on the funds in the courthouse construction budget and will have those funds be used to pay down on the principals of the bonds.
Further discussion. Mr. James.
Well, I'm going to ask, I think part of our agreement with them is we were going to get some type of manual to maintain that structure, Mr. Beckett. I don't see it listed in here. Is that something else that we're just going to get, or do you know?
My understanding is that's something that Mr. Reinhardt was to get from Mr. Borgononi. I can't tell you yes or no. I haven't asked him. Mr. White from White and Borgononi. I haven't asked him. I know I mentioned it at the facilities meeting. I would suggest that you follow up with Mr. Reinhardt. You can ask me on the street next month, and I'll tell you what I know.
Thank you.
Mr. James, I'll look into that.
That'd be Grove Street.
Further discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all for facilities.
Thank you, Mr. Beckett. Next is policy, personnel, and appointments. Mr. Betts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move adoption of Resolution 7544, appointing the membership of the Champaign County Redistricting Commission, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Mosier. Discussion. See none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I move adoption of Resolution number 7545, appointing Robert Palinkas to the Nursing Home Board of Directors, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Langenheim. Discussion. See none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
There's nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Beckett. Finance.
Excuse me?
Mr. Betts, sorry.
We're both lawyers.
You're both lawyers, begin with
Always
B's.
have to
Take it as, well, just take it.
be. I can take it.
Mr. McGinty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Finance Committee, I recommend adoption of Resolution number 7546, purchases not following purchasing policy, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Cowart. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of Resolution number 7547, payment of claims authorization, and I so move.
Second by Mr. J. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of Resolution number 7548, an emergency budget amendment for $56,868 to cover expenses acquired from the November 2 general election, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Discussion. Ms. Ammons?
I think there was a issue that you were going to check on with the clerk about this board approving, I believe, $86,000 previously for, if this is the same money that we
Well,
asked for.
I just sent an email to Mr. Sheldon saying that there were some questions that some members of the county board had about this particular resolution. He said he'd be here. Apparently, he's not here.
Was the question if this had already been appropriated?
I think the question was, were they just for that election, just for the November 2nd election, or were they for the early voting, and why wasn't this anticipated? Does that sort of cover some of the areas? Yeah.
However, we did approve a grant that we received for elections, and the question was, coming from that grant, and I see that there's another item on the addendum
correct.
also in relationship to another expenditure that is being transferred at this point.
I cannot answer those questions. I know that Mr. Farney left the room, I think, just to check to see if Mr. Sheldon is in the building. Why don't we wait a minute or two, see if he comes back. Meanwhile, help yourself to some food.
Can we skip that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kurtz?
Can we skip this until, and then go on with the rest of the, and just move on and then come back to this?
If there's any objection, we can, is there any objection to moving on to the next one? We'll come back to this.
Wasn't there a motion on the floor?
Well, that's right, but the body can decide if they want to.
You can withdraw the motion and then do it.
I'll withdraw the
Well, actually, what you better be. I would. Okay, he's not here. So further discussion on the motion on the floor.
Is this, does this require immediate action?
I think it's part of this year's budget, so yes. Correct. Just trying to get it done before the end of the year.
Would a motion to defer be appropriate? No.
No. Yeah, it's revenue neutral.
Say further discussion. Well, it's all in favor. Aye. I'm sorry, roll call. That's right, I've got it written down there, but roll call.
Ammons? Yes. Anderson? Beckett? Yes. Benzel? Bergson? Betts?
Yes.
Cowart? Yes. Dennitz? Gladney?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Knott?
Yes.
Kurtz?
Yes.
Langenheim?
Yes.
McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels? Yes. Mosier?
7, all of them.
Nudo?
Yes.
O'Connor?
7-2, okay.
Richards?
Yes.
Rosales?
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
Wysocki?
Yes.
Weibel?
Yes, motion carries.
Item number 4, I recommend adoption of ordinance number 874, authorizing the issuance of general obligation limited tax debt certificates, Series 2010A, to finance county facilities for the County of Champaign, Illinois, and providing the details of such certificates and related matters, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Ammons. Discussion. Although it's not indicated on the agenda, we do need a roll call for this one and the next few items also. So roll call. Well, I think we need to have a roll call on this one. Maybe the next one's roll call, please.
Ammons? Yes. Anderson? Yes. Beckett? Yes. Benzel?
Yes.
Bergson? Betts?
Yes.
Cowart? Yes. Dennitz? Gladney?
Yes.
James? Jay? Jones? Knott?
Yes.
Kurtz?
Yes.
Langenheim? McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels? Mosier? Nudo?
Yes.
O'Connor?
No.
Richards? Rosales?
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
Wysocki?
Yes.
Weibel?
Yes, motion carries.
So, Mr. Chair, are you saying 5, 6, and 7 in an omnibus
Yes.
manner? Okay, so I will move adoption of ordinance number 876, authorizing the installment purchase agreement. Adoption of ordinance number 875 of the County of Champaign, Illinois, providing for the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2010B, providing the details of such bonds, and for a levy of taxes to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds and related matters, and adoption of Resolution Number 7550, authorizing the issuance of tax anticipation warrants of the County of Champaign, Illinois, and providing the details of such warrants and related matters, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Mosher. Discussion on any three of these items. Seeing none, roll call.
Ammons.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Beckett. Benzel. Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Cowart. Denitz. Gladney. James.
No.
Jay.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes, sorry.
Langenheim.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels.
Yes.
Mosher.
Yes.
Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor. Richards. Rosales.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Wysocki.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes, motion carries.
From the addendum, item number 8, I recommend adoption of Resolution Number 7579, an emergency budget amendment for $46,000 to cover expenses for reimbursements received from grants, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call.
Ammons.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Beckett. Benzel. Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Cowart. Denitz. Gladney. James.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz. Langenheim.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels. Mosher. Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor.
Yes.
Richards. Rosales.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Wysocki.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes, motion carries.
I recommend adoption of Resolution Number 7582, an emergency budget amendment for $9,000 to cover personnel expenditures for county fiscal year 2010. Staff were hired after the budget was submitted. Additional monies needed to cover FICA and IMRF expenditures for fiscal year 10, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Anderson. Discussion. Roll call.
Ammons.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Beckett. Benzel. Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Cowart. Denitz. Gladney. James.
Yes.
Jay. Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Langenheim. McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels. Mosher. Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor.
Yes.
Richards. Rosales.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Wysocki.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes, motion carries.
Item number 10, I recommend adoption of Resolution Number 7581, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement for animal impound services with the Village of Rantoul, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Michael. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of Resolution Number 7580, approving New World Systems software maintenance agreement, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Wysocki. Discussion. See none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of Resolution Number 7583, authorizing an agreement for inmate health care services at Champaign County, Illinois, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Mosher. Discussion. See none? Ms. Anderson?
Yeah, I was reading through it this afternoon, and I see the sheriff is here, and I just had a question. I think it said that when there's a person goes through intake, that they have up to 14 days, I believe it was, to do the physical, and that seems like a fairly long time. I guess I was just wondering, do most of them occur quicker than that, or?
A lot of them do. If they have problems, they're seen much quicker. The statute requires, the jail standards requires it be done in 14 days, and the ACA standards are the 14 days. So that provision is just to conform to both state and nationwide standards. But yeah, and if they have a problem, they're seen much, much quicker.
Okay. And then I just have one more question. Being on the mental health board, I've heard comments. When somebody has had mental health services within the jail and then they leave, I know with all the privacy stuff, it's not as easy, but if they are still requiring services out in the community, say the mental health center or something like that, are they referred on then, or?
Yeah, it's called linkage, and it's required that we do that, and the mental health providers do that. In fact, we had a meeting earlier this week with community, the new name. Yeah.
Community elements.
Yes, thank you. And we've had some discussions between some of my people and them about how to better do it. It's sad to say, but we used to have a half-time person just devoted to linkage, and the provider came to me and said, there aren't that many programs. We don't need that half-time person because there just isn't that many things to refer folks to anymore. But yeah, we still do it.
Thank you.
Mr. James.
Does this include doctor visits to outside of the jail? Does this include? No.
This is just what we provide in-house. It's basically the mental health component. It's an RN and two LPNs. A physician, medical doctor comes in once a week. A psychiatrist comes in once every 2 weeks. But if there's something severe, then we have to take them typically to Carl, and then that's a separate bill. But years ago, you guys put that at the public aid rate, so it's not nearly as costly as it used to be.
Ms. Coward?
Yeah, I see here that the county covers pharmacy services for inmates from other county.
That'd just be if we happen to be holding somebody for a short term from another county, then we're going to pay it. We could, in theory, bill them, but we don't keep them very long. And it's pretty well a courtesy. We may have a prisoner, we did have a prisoner in 2 different counties last night, and they would provide whatever is needed for our prisoner. We do the same as long as it's a short period of time, but we do have the option to go back and bill them.
Our inmates pay for their pharmaceutical services.
Our own inmates, if they can afford it, there's a small copay for that kind of thing. But no, we pick up the tab for 90% of the cost.
Ms. Amos, did you have a question? Okay. Further discussion? All right.
And just to be, I said 90%, that's off the top of my head, so if somebody checks, I could be wrong. But yeah, the county board pays for almost all of our prescription stuff.
Okay. Let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That is all from finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGinty. Back to the regular agenda. Mr. Betts, item for labor.
Sure. I move adoption of Resolution 7551, appointing county members to the negotiating teams for negotiating of collective bargaining agreements. Specifically, AFSCME General Unit will be Tom Betts and Alan Nudo. Brendan McGinty on AFSCME Nursing Home and AFSCME Nursing Home Nurses Unit. Greg Knott, FOP Court Security Unit. Pius Weibel, FOP Law Enforcement. Greg Knott, FOP Corrections. And Pius Weibel, AFSCME Head Start, and I so move.
Or second? Second to Ms. Coward. Discussion. Ms. Ammons.
Question. This particular committee, are we under time restraints to appoint it prior to the restructuring?
Yes. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Other business. Item A, Mr. J, I believe you're the mover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 7552, resolution honoring retiring County Board Member Chris Denitz. Whereas Chris Denitz was sworn in as a Champaign County Board Member on December 2nd, 2002, and whereas Chris Denitz served the citizens of Champaign County as a representative of the Champaign County Board, District 1, from December 2002 till November 30th, 2010, and whereas during his tenure as a Champaign County Board Member, Chris Denitz served on the following standing committees: Environmental and Land Use Committee, the Justice and Social Services Committee, and the Finance Committee. And whereas the Champaign County Board seeks to publicly recognize the commitment and dedication of Chris Denitz, who served the citizens of Champaign County as an elected official over the term of 8 years, now therefore be it resolved that the Champaign County Board hereby recognize the service of Chris Dennis and the benefit that the county brought to, that the benefit he brought to the county and county government, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Chris Dennis in the recognition of his years of service to the citizens of Champaign County.
There's a second by Mr. Mosier. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item B, Mr. Betts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 7553, a resolution honoring retiring County Board member Matthew Gladney. Whereas Matt Gladney was sworn in as a Champaign County Board member on December 4th, 2006, and whereas Matt Gladney has served the citizens of Champaign County as a representative of Champaign County Board District 6 from December 4th, 2006 until November 30th, 2010, and whereas during his tenure as a Champaign County Board member, Matt Gladney served on the following standing committees: Environmental and Land Use, the Justice and Social Services Committee, and Policy and Personnel and Appointments Committee. Whereas during his tenure as a Champaign County Board member, Matt Gladney served in a leadership role as the chair of the Justice and Social Service Committee from 2008 to 2010, and was instrumental in the creation of and participated in the Citizens Advisory Committee on Jury Selection. And whereas the Champaign County Board seeks to publicly recognize the commitment and dedication of Matt Gladney, who served the citizens of Champaign County as an elected official over a term of 4 years, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Champaign County Board hereby recognizes the service of Matt Gladney and the benefit that service brought to the county government, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Matthew Gladney in recognition of his years of service to the citizens of Champaign County, and I proudly so move.
Second by Mr. Kurtz. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Mr. McGinty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move adoption of resolution number 7554, honoring retiring county board member Steve Beckett, and if I may read the resolution. Whereas J. Stephen Beckett was sworn in as a county board member on December 4, 2000, and whereas Steve Beckett has served the citizens of Champaign County as a representative of the Champaign County Board District 9 from December 4, 2000 until November 30, 2010. And whereas during his tenure as a Champaign County Board member, Steve Beckett served on the following standing committees: County Facilities Committee, the Justice and Public Safety Committee, Personnel and Public Officials Committee, Policy, Personnel and Appointments Committee, the Justice and Social Services Committee, and the Highway and Transportation Committee. And whereas during his tenure as a Champaign County Board member, Steve Beckett served in a leadership role as the chair of the County Facilities Committee, during which time Champaign County engaged in a decade of rebuilding its facilities through the following projects: completion of a $27 million courthouse construction project, $24 million nursing home construction project, $7 million highway fleet maintenance construction project, $3 million facility renovation of the old Champaign County nursing home for the Illinois law enforcement alarm system, a $1.9 million renovation of the county building at 1905 East Main Street for Metcad, a $200,000 remodel of an outbuilding for the county animal control department, and a $7 million exterior renovation of the old county courthouse building and restoration of the clock and bell tower. And whereas Steve Beckett was instrumental in the creation of the Citizens Committee to restore the courthouse clock and bell tower, and served on that committee in a pivotal role from 2002 to 2009 in community-wide fundraising efforts, which resulted in $1.15 million of donated funds for the restoration of the 1901 courthouse clock and bell tower. And whereas Champaign County Board seeks to publicly recognize the commitment and dedication of Steve Beckett, who served the citizens of Champaign County as an elected official over a term of 10 years, and in that decade enhanced the county's initiatives and accomplishments through his leadership, direct communication, and ability to forge strategic alliances for the improvement of county government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Champaign County Board hereby recognizes the service of J. Stephen Beckett and the benefit that service has brought to the county government. And be it further resolved that in honor of a request from the Citizens Committee to restore the courthouse clock and bell tower, a copy of this resolution be framed and hung on the courthouse clock and bell tower donor wall within the original 1901 Champaign County Courthouse. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Steve Beckett in recognition for his decade of service to the citizens of Champaign County. And I so move.
Second by Ms. Kohler. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item D, Mr. McGinty again.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of resolution number 7555 honoring retiring county board member Barbara Wysocki. And again, if I may read the resolution. Whereas Barbara Wysocki was sworn in as a Champaign County board member on December 7, 1998, and whereas Barbara Wysocki has served the citizens of Champaign County as a representative of the Champaign County Board, District 9, from December 7, 1998 until November 30, 2010. And whereas during her tenure as a Champaign County board member, Barbara Wysocki served on the following standing committees: Personnel and Public Officials Committee, Budget and Finance Committee, Environment and Land Use Committee, Justice and Public Safety Committee, Finance Committee, Policy and Personnel and Appointments Committee. And whereas during her tenure as a Champaign County board member, Barbara Wysocki served in leadership roles as the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee from 2000 until 2004, during which term the county board adopted for the first time a resolution endorsing Champaign County economic development policy, chair of the county board from 2004 to 2006, during which term the county board prepared the first Champaign County budget to receive the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Award Presentation Award, and during which term the countywide planning initiative Big Small All was conceived, and through corroborative alliances established a community-wide visioning project. And finally, as chair of the Environment and Land Use Committee, from 2006 to 2010, Barbara Wysocki provided leadership to a citizens steering committee for the Champaign County Land Resource Management Plan, a plan that was conceived in the Big Small All Community Visioning Project and was ultimately adopted by the Environment and Land Use Committee and approved by the County Board in 2010. And whereas in addition to her commitment to her responsibility as a county board member, Barbara Wysocki also contributed her time and personal financial resources during her term on the county board to establish the Courthouse Museum Fund and to establish the Lincoln Exhibits Committee, a partnership between the Champaign County Board and the Champaign County Forest Preserve District Board, which led to the creation of the Courthouse Museum and Lincoln Exhibit in the historic 1901 Champaign County Courthouse. And whereas the Champaign County Board seeks to publicly recognize the commitment and dedication of Barbara Wysocki, who served the citizens of Champaign County as an elected official over a term of 12 years, and throughout her term of service enhanced the County Board's initiatives and accomplishments through her leadership, commitment to future planning through corroboration with citizens and other local governmental entities, and philanthropic generosity to create opportunity for and enhancement of historical education within our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Champaign County Board hereby recognizes the service of Barbara Wysocki and the benefit that that service has brought to the county government. And be it further resolved that in honor of Barbara Wysocki's philanthropic contribution in the creation and establishment of the Courthouse Museum Fund, a copy of this resolution be framed and hung in the lobby of the historic 1901 Champaign County Courthouse near the entrance to the Courthouse Lincoln Exhibit. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Barbara Wysocki in recognition of her years of service to the citizens of Champaign County. And I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. Betts. Discussion. See none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item E, Mr. Beckett.
I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C1 to consider the employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of Champaign County. I further move that the following individuals remain present: the county administrator, the county legal counsel, and the recording secretary, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Ms. McGinty. Roll call, please.
Ammons? Yes. Anderson?
Yes.
Beckett?
Yes.
Benzel? Bergson? Betts?
Yes.
Cowart? Dinitz?
Yes.
Gladney? James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Knott?
Yeah.
Kurtz?
Yes.
Langenheim?
Yes.
McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels? Mosier? Nudo?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Richards? Rosales?
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
Wysocki?
Yes.
Weibel?
Yes, and Mr. James has been up there at least twice getting food.
If you're down.
Motion carries. We're going to closed session.